Olushola Pacheco, and welcome to another episode of Impact Africa. The journey to 2019 continues, and today in the studio with me I have Godbless Otubure, who is part of the Not Too Young to Run campaign here in the city of Lagos. Thank you for coming on the show. So tell me about the Not Too Young to Run campaign currently going on in Nigeria. As at the last count, I think they said they have about 25 states that are on board with the Not Too Young to Run campaign. So tell me about for people who don't know, tell me about the campaign itself, the current age and what you guys are advocating for in terms of age for running for office.
Okay, so the Not Too Young to Run, the way we have decided to take it, like a new conversation, what we're pushing in Lagos is beyond the age reduction, law-wise, in terms when you say in lawmaking, it is the age reduction bill, right? When you go to the House of Representatives and you go to the state houses of assemblies, it is called the reduction in age bill, you know. Before now, you needed to be above 40 to be able to run for the office of the president of Nigeria. So if you are competent, you have character, and you have the popular appeal, if you're not up to 40, you can run for the office of president, or 40, 45 or thereabout. And if you're not above 35, you couldn't run for the office of, you couldn't be a senator representing your constituency, no matter how politically conscious or, active you are. So what the Not Too Young to Run, which is the age reduction bill, is seeking to do is to reduce the age such that younger generation, younger people have the opportunity and the level playing field to be able to run for elective office. And that's not all. What we've also done is that we're also insisting that in political parties, the position of youth leader should be occupied by someone within the ages of 18 and 35, because that's the age of the globally recognized youth age,
Nations.
Yeah. So if we have the United Nations, which is the global body, working with different countries, saying that 18 to 35 is the age for youth, we shouldn't have a political party in Nigeria have a 60-year-old as youth leader. We've had that before.
Well, you and I know that funding elections don't come cheap.
You're right.
And one of the reasons why people who are older, the older generation, can actually run for office while young people can, it's a matter of funding. So if you're advocating for the age reduction, how do you people plan to fund elections? But this would be a waste if you don't have money to fund elections.
I would answer in this way. Funding is critical. In the 21st century, as you move into, the century moving forward, elections are going to get more expensive. Now that's because you have more the
environment. Isn't that because we're doing it wrongly?
No, even in the United States, Barack Obama's election, the first election was almost like one of the most expensive elections.
It was one of the most expensive elections, but they did have collections and donations across board.
Yes, you're right.
From the guy who gives the $1 to the guy who gives $1 million, or if that's allowed.
You're right.
But if you're pushing for Not Too Young to Run and you guys have no clue how to fund elections, aren't you going to be opening the doors for the rich bags and money bags, bringing their children in as substitute for them, because they are the ones who can pay for the elections?
Elections is not just all about money. Cash is the lifeblood of any elections. As a political consultant, I'll say that. But to limit the effect of the Not Too Young to Run to just money, that means we're not having the right conversation. Money is important, but we know that. Now, if you look at what has happened in the last couple of elections in Nigeria, is that we're also beginning to see a more enlightened voters demography. We're beginning to use the fundraising strategies like you have in developed economies. So in 2015, the Buhari Osinbajo campaign set up a fundraising platform where people could donate. And we know that as we move on, with the whole laws from INEC and the amendments that are going on, we know that we have more people who can set up funding, donations and fundraising platforms for young people to be able to raise funds. So I don't think that our inability to have access to heavy financing would limit. I mean, there are stages, there are areas that we know that if we get involved in, we can always find goodwill and collaboration. And money is not always.
So this is a step of fate
It's
on your part,
no,
because you guys still don't have how to fund elections.
No, it's not a step of faith. Okay, so you need to understand something. There are, and I was telling you while we're offline that the wealth, access to wealth, is a bit easier now. A lot younger people are millionaires today, thanks to technology and the ability to just create value. Young people may not have the kind of financing that the older generation have access to, and that's true. But these guys didn't wake up one morning and they had that access. I mean, I'm here now talking to you, and if I want to run for office tomorrow and I come to you and I say I'm running, and you believe in my candidacy and my vision, I'm talking to Shola, and Shola is going to support me. And Shola has other people, right? And then you can talk to them for me too. And I'm also working. I have groups of young people who are working. If I have over 50% of the population as young people, and I can send my message to them, it means that I have a strategy to raise funds.
Well, the thing is, at the same time, the Not Too Young to Run campaign also borders on trust.
You're right.
A lot of young people don't trust young people to run for office. Why? Because over the years we have seen young people who seem to be who should be the backbone of the country acting as paid agents. If a politician pays you to be stupid, why should people support you seeing what you've done in the past?
It's just like a lot of people look at me and say, I'm a political consultant. Our organization, State Night, we're created to further causes that matter. Let me be very clear. I know beneath this question is what young people did in 2015 that brought in this current administration.
Yes.
Every time you have an opportunity to trust, you do that believing your instinct, right? Whatever young people did in 2015 was because they trusted.
If people who are not visionary enough to understand that what we needed wasn't the elderly leadership and things like that, why should we trust you enough as young people? One of the reasons why I feel that the whole older generation doesn't trust the young people enough to support them to run for office is because of the things they have used them to do.
Shola, and I have said this, that if, I was telling you, the question that are young people ready to run?
Can you guys be trusted?
Listen, Shola, young people should be trusted, can be trusted, and will be trusted. When the older generation took over, and there's a whole new conversation. Power has to be seen differently. Power is not power. Power is collective trust, right? So I don't use words like when the older generation took over power. No, when the older generation had the opportunity to manage the collective trust, nobody, I can't say it. Who asked Obasanjo if he was ready to lead? Who asked Yar'Adua if he was ready to lead? Who asked Gowon when he came, if he was ready to lead?
The factor of access to friends and power and politics and things like that. Nobody asked them. They have godfathers who say, come and run for office.
Good. No, it wasn't about having godfathers. It was simply because, as at that time, the conversation was not to get them engaged in defending why they should lead, but rather they had the support of the system to say these people can succeed. The question to young people that, are they ready to lead? The media should stop saying that. The media industry, which is the fourth estate of the realm, they shape culture. They can change the question from telling a politician who is asking a young man today if he's ready to run to say, no, don't ask that. Ask him, what do you need? How can I help you succeed where I have failed?
But do they agree they have failed?
That's the question. So, And I said something, I said the not too young to run is not an attack on the older generation. We're not saying that older people shouldn't run. No, they should run. And get it.
But there are young people who are still being used as voices by this older generation. So there's no way they're going to let this actually become a thing in Nigeria, considering how many of the young people are still constantly being used.
It is already a thing, Shola. As of today, we're having this conversation.
What if the president decides he's not going to pass it into law? What do you do?
The president will not decide. You know why? Because he is holding the collective trust. He wakes up tomorrow and his ADC refused to show up for work. And then he calls the driver. Driver says, unreachable. He calls the defense headquarters, unreachable. He will be powerless. Hope you know that.
Yeah, I know.
When people begin to see power in this light, that at best, what is happening is that people are only respecting me because of the collective trust. The moment they pull out, I am powerless.
Well,
it simply says that
the current government in power has showed a lack of empathy, sympathy, and they have been insensitive. So why do you think with these traits that they're known for, why do you think signing this into law would be any different?
Let me tell you, as at the time we started the conversation of the Not Too Young to Run bill, and as initiated in the House of Representatives, we thought, a lot of people thought it was not going to see the light of day. It went through the first reading and the second reading, and it went through the committee stage. There are a lot of things we're asking for.
If I was a president who didn't want this to happen, I can always keep pushing it. We have less than a year to the
so you can see, so you can't even say that the president didn't want this to happen, because there are a lot of things that happen in democracies that the president has no control over. Just like the Not Too Young to Run bill. He couldn't have.
If I was a state governor who wanted a second term, I would support something like this.
Okay.
Because that's the easiest way for me to get more young people to think I'm on their side.
Good.
While trying to get myself
reelected.
Right?
And remember this, power is transient. At 22 or so, 21, 22 or so, I became the Student Union Public Relations Officer of the University of Benin, SUG, Student Union Government. And the first advice our predecessor, the guy who was handing over to me, said to me, and I will never forget, it stayed with me for life. Maebo Piarusa, power is transient. One day you are receiving the baton, the next day you're passing it to someone else. It should guide the way you behave in this office. At best, every man would have twice, or opportunity to lead twice. So, in the case of Nigeria, 8 years. After 8 years, you will leave. If you think you are using young people today to further your cause, you are not going to be there forever. These young people will come. They will take over. You can delay the process. You can even destroy the process and make it harder for them. Just like what the elites have done, the political class. They have killed, some of them, they're not even aware that they have destroyed the fabric of the nation. They've refused.
The help of young people.
Not all the time.
The greatest voice in 2015 was that of young people.
Let me tell you something, Shola.
The greatest voice. We need to remember that.
Shola, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The administration that was voted out had a terrible fabric around them. It was anything but Jonathan in 2015. Like the set of people, and young people came out, and then, a lot of us worked and we made this happen. And you've had conversations now and say 2019 is everything but Buhari. And a lot of us are looking and saying, okay, it wasn't just young people that voted for Buhari. No, and there were older people who voted for Buhari as well. The fact that we had youth energy behind the campaign was a strategy by the APC, right? And Let me say something now. The country is tough. There are people who are living on less than $1 a day. The basic desire of a human being is to eat.
So how do you tell that man whose situation has become worse?
Thank you.
That, oh, please trust us young people. We led this government in 2015.
Good.
We're trying to make a difference. Trust is something that once it's broken, you don't get it easily.
Good. You don't get it easily, but you build on it. I'm a political consultant. I have a company. I am non-partisan as I speak to you right now. I don't belong to any political party. Do I believe in any of them?
Is that a requirement for being a part of the Not Too Young to Run campaign?
No, it's not. No, the Not Too Young to Run you see, it's not. The Not Too Young to Run has people from different political parties as part of what we're doing. We are just, whatever it is now that we're doing, not being a part of a political party, is a choice thing. It's because we just felt, okay, let's just wait and watch.
Is this important for your credibility, not being part of a political party? That's how you get people to actually believe in the Not Too Young to Run campaign?
Somehow it does help, somehow. But it's not, Not Too Young to Run is what every political party is supporting. There is no political party that says they don't support it. If you look at what has happened, PDP states have passed the law, have passed the bill in their local houses of assemblies. And APC states have passed the law. APGA states have passed the law, right? Taraba state that initially voted against it rescinded the decision and voted in favor of it. So it has the appeal and the support of all political parties.
Can we speak on worst case scenario with this bill?
And the president doesn't sign it?
And the president doesn't sign this.
Is
that the end of this movement, or you guys?
No, that's not the end of the movement.
For another 4 years.
No, that's never going to be the end of the movement. If we suffer any form of setback, it doesn't mean we'll stop. You take a detour, you have a roadblock, you take a detour because you know where you're going.
But do you have the older generation politicians behind you?
Absolutely, they are. They are. And I've said this thing before, for those who are Christians and Muslims and those who are religious, the Not Too Young to Run bill is the answer to the prayers of the older generation. It's just that
you think
some of them are not aware.
Okay.
It's painful that they're not aware. They've looked at us in the eyes many times and said, you guys are the future of tomorrow, or like the future leaders of tomorrow. They said that, some cynically, some without believing it. But you say things. And I said to some TV stations, I said, the Not Too Young to Run bill is the answer to the prayer of the current leaders and past leaders of Nigeria.
From a conversation a few years ago, INEC stopped giving money to political parties.
Okay, great.
And at this point, there are no incentives. In the past, people used to register political parties just to get the money from INEC and share between them. At this point, there are no incentives to starting up a political party.
Great.
But at the same time, when you get the Not Too Young bill to pass and it becomes law, you guys are going to be most of you are going to be registering political party from ground zero.
You're right.
With no money and the likes of it.
You're right.
Why are you not pushing for independent candidates?
We have. It was part of the requirement. It was part of the goals for the Not Too Young to Run. We wanted.
But do you know that at the same time, the Not Too Young to Run campaign seems to be on social media. There are quite a lot of people out there who have no idea what the Not Too Young campaign to run is about. And we seem to have leveled to that, we seem to have gotten to that point where we think anything that trends on social media is what's accepted on the streets.
You're right.
So if you're saying that Not Too Young to Run campaign, we want to get young people in offices and things like that, and you still have young people who are on social media attacking and still acting as mechanisms and tools and channels for the older generation to say they are not serious. So the Not Too Young to Run campaign, you guys are at a point where it is going to be difficult building trust because a lot of young people don't even trust their own fellow young people. And at the same time, if an older politician has used you to be stupid, they're not going to support you in what you do.
This is it. The beauty of every project is success. we've had offline engagement on the Not Too Young to Run before. I mean, and we keep having these engagements, conferences, seminars, and to talk about what the Not Too Young to Run will do for the economy. We've had 2 press conferences in Lagos, which we've actually had the media to be a part of, and just say that. What are young people more focused on? There is a segment, right, when you listen closely, that are actively involved in what the Not Too Young to Run is doing. You can say that the larger population don't seem to know yet, but that is why we keep saying that to change anything, it has to be through policy. And that is what the Not Too Young to Run has done. We've effected change with little cost. But then the ripple effect is that tomorrow, someone can now be a young youth leader in a party. That wasn't happening before.
And not a 60-year-old,
65-year-old.
Yes,
that's change.
Yeah.
Somebody can now, at 25, you can now run to represent your constituency.
But why 25? Why 25? An 18-year-old can run in most countries. Why 25? It's like you guys are saying not too young to run, but you've decided to put a limitation.
Let me tell you one of the beautiful things about democracy. And I think as we keep moving forward, we keep educating our people. The Nigerian story is different.
What's different about it?
I'll tell you. Here, people still believe in their pastors more than they believe their doctors, somehow.
That's
here,
a belief system in Nigeria.
Here,
yeah.
People still take more pride in how large the weddings are than how successful the marriage will be. Here, a car is a success factor rather than a tool of effectiveness. Here, respect is gained by how much you have acquired, not how intelligent you affect your community. When you look at the disequilibriums that we live with as a people, there are certain expectations that we are not yet ripe for. What that means is that we keep growing in our civilization track. Today it is 25. Tomorrow it will be 20.
Why not just go for 18?
This is it.
If I can vote at 18, if I am sensible enough to vote at 18, if the law says I'm sensible enough to marry at 18, why can't I be voted for at 18?
The bigger conversation, like I've said, is you're tracing the social development quotient of a nation to determine how you frame policies. If you bring what works in America here, the likelihood of it working is slim. Do you know why? And I will tell you why. The larger population in America is educated. And there are some behavioral patterns that an uneducated man cannot exhibit.
Can the Not Too Young to Run bill, the Not Too Young to Run group, can they still conquer tribalism? Tribalism is one of the biggest problems that we have in today's politics.
And let me tell you,
we're not thinking about competence. We're thinking about the rotation. An Igbo man becomes president today, and Hausa man has to become president tomorrow. A Yoruba man has to become president next tomorrow. But the problem is we're not thinking about competence. We're thinking about just zoning it. It's your time. You do this, you do that. But tribe is still a major issue.
It is, and sadly so. I was going to answer that. They're not young to run. I'm Godbless Otubure. I'm a Delta by origin. I really don't like saying that.
You should first of all be a Nigerian.
I mean, I don't like. That's why I say I don't like saying that. But I'm in Lagos, and I'm the acting leader of the Not Too Young to Run. Lagos is Yoruba. I don't speak it very well. I have Yoruba guys who are working with me. I have Igbo guys who are in our team. I'm Delta, right? So we are conquering tribalism. The bill The bill was initiated by...
Well, you guys are conquering tribalism because now you have to work together towards
Absolutely,
a common goal.
absolutely.
When you finally achieve that goal, will
Yeah.
tribalism be something that rears its head? Because at that point you already have what you want, and now it's a case of, oh, you're not competent enough, or it's our turn, we have to do this, we have to do that.
Shola, it's painful that in our country today, we still have tribal sentiment as a big issue. It's like for me, it's really painful because it undermines our ability to be a nation.
So if you're talking about not too young to run,
Yes.
just as per age,
Yes.
with regards to just the age,
Yeah.
there's so many other factors.
You're right.
If you have the not too young to run and buying a form for Senate costs about 5 million naira, are you guys not pushing in the wrong direction? If you're pushing for not too young to run, you should also be pushing for this
Reduction in absolutely.
prices and things like that.
We're working
Because
on that.
at the end of the day, if not too young to run, the bill, if it goes through, these young people will collect money from someone
It has
to buy
gone
the
through.
form.
It has gone through. We just want the president to sign it. It's gone through. We've got federal, we've got the Senate and the House passed the bill. We've had over 24 states pass the bill.
I'm very happy with your optimism.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the questions are still there. When the not too young to run bill becomes a law in
No,
Nigeria,
great. Which it will be in the next
what
couple
happens
of
to that
days.
young person who suddenly becomes a front for the money bags? You guys are not, you're just talking about the age reduction. Yes, you will get it at some point. But when you're talking about the age reduction and you're not talking about reducing the cost
The
of
cost for election,
running
yeah.
election, you're not talking about funding, restriction on funding. Because at the end of the day, if my godfather gives me 100 million to run an election, what's the first thing I do when I get there? I would give him 200 million back.
Thank you. So this is what I need to respond to this. There are new strategies for raising funds. There are GoFundMe accounts that you can open and then people can donate into your vision and all of that. I need to correct something. The not too young to run does not mean that young people cannot work with existing politicians. And I have to say that.
Existing politicians with the bad system.
Just hold on.
Are you
hold
saying
on.
the young people are ready
No, just
to
hold
join?
on.
As long as it's passed into law, as long as we're able to vote, as long as we're able to be voted for,
Yeah.
we don't care how the system is. Just make sure that we can be voted for so we can continue
No, that's not it.
the messed up system.
Shola, let me explain something. You need the collaboration of the initiator of evil for the cleanup, or a better word, for the restoration of
So
good.
in,
Now hold on.
so in other words,
Hold on.
it's we would dine with the devil, but we'll make our spoon longer.
Now this is it. This is it. It's not saying dine with the devil is. You see, I was in a conversation with an honorable member.
That's a figure of speech.
I know.
Yes.
That's fine. I know. I was with a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly, and we were having a conversation. And he pulled his cap, told most of the guys to get out of the room, because the not young to run went to visit him, and he said he wanted to be very open to us. And he told us some things he wouldn't say in public. We learned a lot from it. Right? Great. I was with the governor, and the governor said some things to us. Look, this is, and we learned a lot from it. The repair of Nigeria.
You make it sound like you guys are ready to play dirty as long as you get the bill passed for you to be able to be voted for.
No, we're not saying, nobody's saying we're ready to play dirty. I am saying to you that when the conversation that has not taken into cognizance the true nature of your environment, when you are done with that conversation, you must understand also that you are playing in an environment that demands a strategic approach. After my first press conference on the Not Too Young to Run, people from my state sent me messages that I should come and run for office. Guess what I told them? We are not ready to run now. Or rather, I am not ready to run now. Not we are not ready. I am not ready to run now. We don't have a structure on ground yet. We need to research. We need to find out where are the hot zones, where are the key areas for voting. Now, hold on.
Those not things that you guys should have done before you decided to want this bill to go through.
Hold on. This is what I'm saying. The bill itself is challenging the status quo. The groundwork is what I am talking about. Obama created a structure that had one of the best volunteer systems in the world in 2012, in 2008, and then repeated that success in 2012. Guess what? He's been a senator. He's been in the system, right? All of this I am saying is, you need the collaboration of every willing Nigeria. Let us look at the former president, Obasanjo. Obasanjo is, we all know he wanted a third term. And he wanted to alter the constitution that said you can't do more than 2. We know that he once said that this election is a do or die affair. We know what he has. We know he was the one that held the Lagos state government, allocations because of disagreement with the governor at that time. We know most of the things he's done, and we know most of the good things he's done. What is he doing today? Do you know what he's doing? He is acting as a true statesman who has said, we have failed. That is why I said you need the collaboration
but Nigerians,
of the initiator of evil for the restoration of good.
A lot of Nigerians don't believe in his we have failed.
Let me tell you.
They just feel that it's another opportunity to get the government
they
power out
can feel
of
so.
While they try to bring in someone else.
Do you know that if you listen to what he has said and what Babangida has said, these guys understand something. The day you were born, from that day you begin to die. They know that they have the departure lounge of life. They know that there is nothing they are looking for in this world that they haven't seen. They know that their children cannot suffer.
That this is about making a change.
Making it right. I was with the president sometime at the presidential library in Abeokuta, and he said some things to us. The former president, yes, yeah. President Olushole Pacheco. And he said some things to us. We have not done it right. There were some things we started that were right. We just failed to continue. That is why we are where we are today.
So in continuation of the Not Too Young to Run campaign.
Yes.
I wish you all the best with this. We hope that it becomes a reality. We hope that things change.
Yeah.
If we were to continue this conversation, we won't live here today.
You're right.
I'm very proud of the young people who have decided that they would take the bold step.
You're right.
It's quite unfortunate that there's still a lot of young people who decide to be used by the older generation. We hope that they will change their minds. We hope that they will think about the future.
You're right.
In going forward. I wish you all the best with the Not Too Young to Run. We hope that this passes into law so we can come back and bring the young people who have decided that they want to run so we can ask them the hard questions, because we're not going to give you guys a pass because you guys are young people.
You're right.
We're going to ask the hard questions. So we know when we go to the ballot boxes in 2019, we're not giving our votes to just another young man or young woman who has decided
to put himself
up and just go for what he or she can get from it. Thank you.
Of what the Not Young to Run is going to do.
We don't have too much time.
Thank
you so much,
you.
Mr. Godbless. 2019 is around the corner. Get your PVC, get your voter's card. It's not just about bringing young people to the table. It's about bringing credible leadership. From me to you, my name is Olushola Pacheco, and this is Impact Africa. See you same time next week on this channel. Thanks for watching.